For staying with us, and a warm welcome to those who've just joined us. Now, Western Cape Premier Winde is threatening to arrest Vladimir Putin if he visits the province. He says provincial law enforcement officers known as LEAP will capture the Russian president if the SAPS fail to act. Now, Putin is wanted by the International Criminal Court for war crimes, and the ICC expects any of its signatories to apprehend and hand him over to the Hague. Now, while South Africa is a signatory to the Rome Statute, government is mum on its stance on Putin. Now, Premier Winde joins us now live from Cape Town to tell us about his threat. Thank you very much, Premier, for your time here on eNCA. Of course, government is mum, and in about 2 to 3 months' time, we're expecting Putin to arrive on our shores for that BRICS summit. And you're saying if anything happens in Cape Town, you'll arrest him yourself?
Yes, absolutely. And I don't agree absolutely that government is mum. I mean, they seem to be flip-flopping to say, yes, we'll abide by the statute, or no, we want to actually remove ourselves from, the Rome Statute, and we want to remove ourselves from the International Criminal Court. Really what this is about is about showcasing that we in this province are there for the rule of law. We stand by it. We also need to showcase that we stand by our international agreements. We're a constitutional democracy. We can't flip-flop around in this kind of arena. As you've said, the ICC want him to come and have his day in court in The Hague, and we will enable that as far as possible. And so that is my position. If Putin arrives in the Western Cape, we will do whatever we can to make sure that he gets arrested and that we follow through on that commitment that says that anybody responsible for war crimes in the 123 countries that are the signatory to the statute, that we will enable that arrest.
And so what do you think of their reasoning around wanting to just have a conversation with the ICC and officials within the ICC to ensure that, there is fairness in everybody, facing the full might of the law of the ICC or the International Criminal Court, and not just some people? Because the ANC seems to be saying that there is an issue with a section in the law of the ICC or the Rome Statute when it comes to arresting high-profiling politicians. With some, they say arrest. With some, they don't say anything at all.
So I think that is a proper, legitimate debate that any country can have within the ICC, and that debate must happen. People must raise issues within the debate, but within that forum. But you can't, say, well, we're part of it today and then we're not part of it tomorrow, because it depends on who is going to be involved or not. Because at what stage are we then going to say, well, hang on a second, it's because someone in our country is now fingered in this that we're not going to now be part of it again? We can't chop and change. We've either got to say we are in or out. At the moment, we are in, we are signatory, and we need to abide by that, because that is about our brand as South Africa. It is about our brand as a country. We cannot flip-flop around this space, because what we're doing is not only putting our brand in jeopardy, we're actually now going further than that, because it's actually influencing trade and trade relations, the economy as a whole, and quite frankly, basing all of this on Russia and our relationship with Russia, which is 0.2% of our trade out of South Africa, and the other 123 countries. That's where our real partnerships lie in trade, and we can't put all of that at risk. We've got to make sure that we are a constitutional democracy and stick to our agreements. That's what it's about. So we can raise those issues, absolutely, and let's do that. But let's not put everything else in jeopardy. And our brand, I think, as a nation, because the world are looking at us very differently at the moment.
And now, some people would say you're probably playing politics at the moment in terms of your threat to arrest Putin yourself, basically also just challenging the ANC. What's your response to that?
Well, I mean, obviously, this is about politics. We've got a political party in South Africa that is leading the charge of flip-flopping in and out of international agreements. And I'm saying that we stand for the rule of law. I belong to a different political party. So you could say, yes, there's politics involved. But I actually think it goes way further than that. It goes to integrity. It goes to your position in the world. It goes to how the world sees you and your ability to trade with the world, to to be part of a global market. And so, at the same time as we're having this debate in South Africa as to whether we should be part of the ICC or not, and whether we should welcome Putin to South Africa or not, at the same time, the president's got a team off in the US, because the US are busy saying to South Africa, are you friend or foe? And should we be trading with you? And now we've got a delegation there saying, please, we need to keep a going. This doesn't make any sense to me at all. We need to be much stronger as a country. And in this province, we will hold that line and we will be strong.
How will you ensure that you're assisted after making that arrest? If he does come to the Western Cape, you will, at the end of the day, need the national government to ensure that he does go and face the full might of the law in The Hague. How will you make sure that that happens and that process is seamless?
So obviously, as we get closer to the time, if I do see that this is a possibility, that Putin will be coming to the Western Cape, I will engage not only and put pressure, and I'm sure it'll be a big fight between the national government and myself in this case, but I will also engage with the International Criminals Court. I will engage with Interpol, see how you transfer the ICC list to probably a red list at Interpol. I will try whatever mechanism possible to make sure that this can happen, that we adhere to what we have agreed, and this province is going to stick to that agreement. So whatever needs to be done, I will do to make sure that I, to the best of my ability, can follow through and make sure that if he comes to this province, he gets arrested and goes and has his day in court.
But the governing party could come back and say, but Premier Winde, we never said that we would not arrest President Vladimir Putin. We were saying something else, but we never ever said that we wouldn't arrest him.
Then I would welcome that, because then that means we are sticking to what we have agreed. And that is exactly what we should be doing as a partner state.
All right. Well, Premier Winde of the Western Cape believes that President Vladimir Putin should be arrested if he lands on our shores, and he says that he will arrest him himself if the ANC fails to do so. That's if he ends up visiting the Western Cape during the BRICS summit, which is expected in August. You might remember that the ANC at its briefing had said that it wants to come out of the Rome Statute. The president also saying the same sentiments on the same day, but of course the presidency coming out to clarify that that's not what they were saying, that's not their mandate, that's not what they agreed on at their elective conference, and therefore they're not coming out of the Rome Statute or exiting it. They rather wanted to be fair.